Good evening, and welcome to Dreamy Academy. Tonight we embark on a journey not across the cosmos, but inward, into the astonishing universe that resides within each of us. As we begin, I'd love to know where you're watching from, your city, your country, perhaps even what the night sky looks like outside your window. If you enjoy these peaceful explorations of science, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe. It truly helps this little corner of quiet curiosity grow. To those already subscribed, thank you sincerely for being part of this slow and thoughtful adventure. Right now, as you listen, forces older than mountains are shaping the atoms in your bones, orchestrating a silent, intricate dance within every single cell of your body. It is a dance so profound, so ancient, that it connects you not just to every other living thing on this planet, but to the very first moments of the universe itself. We often gaze at distant galaxies or marvel at the vastness of geological time, seeking wonder in the immense and the far away. But there is a universe equally vast, equally ancient, and infinitely more intimate, humming with life and purpose just beneath the surface of your skin. It is the story of you in your most fundamental form. To understand this story, we must learn to stretch the imagination, not outwards into the void, but inwards, until the microscopic becomes a landscape of towering complexity, and a single breath becomes a symphony of chemical reactions. We will drift through the intricate architecture of the human body, not as a textbook of facts, but as a living museum of natural wonders, each exhibit illuminated by the gentle light of understanding. What makes us human, what allows us to think and feel and dream, is not some abstract magic, but the elegant choreography of atoms and molecules, cells and systems, working in concert across scales that defy easy comprehension. It is a story of profound beauty, rewarding patient contemplation and worthy of these quiet hours we share. Have you ever considered the quiet hum of existence within you, the invisible architecture that allows you to breathe, to think, to simply be? Tonight, let's journey inward, far past the skin and bone, past organs and tissues, to the very bedrock of what makes you, you. We begin with the most fundamental particles, the silent building blocks from which all life, and indeed all matter, is sculpted. If you could shrink down to a scale where atoms become visible, you would find yourself in a landscape of vast emptiness, punctuated by fleeting whispers of energy. For all their solidity when gathered into the familiar world, atoms are mostly void. Imagine a vast, silent stadium. At its very centre, a tiny pebble, almost infinitesimally small. That would be the nucleus, containing nearly all the atom's mass. And somewhere, perhaps in the highest seats of the distant stands, a few dust motes, impossibly light, would be the electrons, not orbiting like planets, but existing as shimmering clouds of probability, defining the atom's outer limits. This fundamental emptiness is where our story of life begins, in the quantum dance of these tiny energetic possibilities. Yet, despite this inner void, atoms are profoundly social. They rarely exist alone, preferring instead to form delicate partnerships through the sharing or exchange of their outermost electrons. These partnerships are called chemical bonds, and they are the universe's way of creating structure from simplicity. The strength and elegance of these bonds dictate everything from the hardness of a diamond to the fluidity of water, and crucially, to the intricate machinery of life itself. Among these social atoms, a few are particularly skilled architects. Oxygen, with its eager embrace of electrons, hydrogen, small and versatile, nitrogen, a key component of life's complex chains, and above all, carbon. Carbon, with its 4 available bonding sites, is the master builder, capable of forming long, stable chains and rings, creating the sprawling molecular backbones upon which all organic life is founded. Consider for a moment the ordinary miracle of water. 2 hydrogen atoms, each sharing an electron with a single oxygen atom, form a molecule that seems deceptively simple. Yet water is anything but. Its unique bent shape and the uneven distribution of its electrons create tiny positive and negative poles, allowing water molecules to gently cling to one another. This seemingly small detail gives water its extraordinary properties, its ability to dissolve an astonishing array of substances, to absorb vast amounts of heat, and to remain liquid across a broad range of temperatures. Without these humble, elegant properties, life as we know it simply could not exist. Water is not just the solvent of life, it is the stage upon which life's drama unfolds, an omnipresent, silent partner in every cellular process. From these fundamental atoms and their elegant bonds, more complex structures begin to emerge. Just as letters combine to form words, and words combine to form sentences, atoms combine to form molecules, and molecules combine to form the larger, more intricate structures we call macromolecules. These are the true workhorses of the cell, the fundamental categories of molecular architecture that build, fuel, and regulate every living system. They are the carbohydrates, the lipids, the proteins, and the nucleic acids, each with a distinct form and function, yet all woven from the same basic atomic threads. Carbohydrates, often thought of as simple sugars, are much more. They are the primary fuel for your cells, quickly broken down to release the energy that powers every thought and movement. But they also form structural components, like the cellulose that gives plants their rigidity, or the chitin that forms the exoskeletons of insects. Imagine them as complex, branching trees, each sugar unit a leaf providing energy or forming a sturdy branch. Lipids, on the other hand, are the water-fearing molecules, fats, oils, and waxes. They are the architects of cellular boundaries, forming the delicate membranes that enclose every cell, separating the inner universe from the outer world. They also store energy efficiently, acting as a long-term fuel reserve and serve as crucial signaling molecules, carrying messages throughout the body. Picture them as shimmering fluid walls, defining the borders of life. Then there are proteins, the true molecular machines of the cell. These are perhaps the most diverse and complex of all macromolecules, formed from long chains of smaller units called amino acids, folded into incredibly precise 3-dimensional shapes. Each protein's unique shape determines its specific job. Some act as enzymes, accelerating chemical reactions by millions of times. Others transport substances, like hemoglobin carrying oxygen in your blood. Still others provide structural support, like the collagen that gives your skin its elasticity. Proteins are the bustling workers, the precise tools, and the very scaffolding of life. They are the reason you can read these words, the reason your heart beats, the reason your cells can communicate. And finally, the nucleic acids, DNA and RNA, the keepers of information, the blueprints of life itself. These molecules store the instructions for building and operating every protein in your body, every cell, every tissue, every organ. DNA, a magnificent double helix, is the grand library safely archiving the genetic code. RNA acts as the messenger, carrying copies of these instructions to the cellular machinery that translates them into proteins. They are the memory and the future, the silent language that guides the construction of everything from a single bacterium to the intricate complexity of a human being. What is truly remarkable is that these 4 types of macromolecules, built from a surprisingly limited set of atomic elements, assemble themselves into the astonishingly complex structures we call cells. A single human cell, barely visible to the naked eye, is a universe unto itself, a bustling metropolis of molecular machines, constantly building, repairing, communicating, and generating energy. It is a testament to the elegant principles of self-organization, where simple rules at one level lead to breathtaking complexity at the next. Life, at its most fundamental, is chemistry that has learned to remember itself, to replicate, and to evolve. It is an emergent property, a symphony arising from the precise arrangement and interaction of countless tiny components. There's a particular comfort in understanding that the essence of who you are, the very foundation of your existence, is built upon such elegant, universal principles. From the quantum dance of electrons to the intricate folding of proteins, the universe has found a way to arrange itself into patterns that think, feel, and dream. Looking back across those scales, we see not chaos but structure, not randomness but a profound, patient order. So we've seen how the atoms, those mostly empty whispers of energy, combine through elegant bonds to form the fundamental molecules of life. We've glimpsed the architectural genius of carbon, the life-giving properties of water, and the distinct roles of the macromolecules, the carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acids, that serve as life's raw materials and its working parts. But what happens when these parts come together? How does this chemical complexity transcend mere matter to become a living thing? How do these molecular components arrange themselves into the dynamic, self-sustaining units that are the very definition of life? That question leads us into the bustling, vibrant world, inside the cell itself, where these molecules orchestrate a continuous, astonishing dance of energy and transformation. In our last quiet moment together, we marveled at the exquisite architecture of life's foundational molecules, the sturdy carbohydrates, the fluid lipids, the versatile proteins, and the information-rich nucleic acids. We saw them as the ultimate building blocks, letters and words in the cosmic script. Yet, a profound question lingered in the tranquil air of our dreamy academy. How do these remarkable components transcend mere matter to become dynamic, self-sustaining living entities? How does the blueprint spring to life, the silent script begin its intricate dance? Today, my friends, we shall journey deeper, past the shimmering veil of the molecular, into the astonishing universe that is the cell itself, the true genesis of life as we know it. Imagine, if you will, shrinking down not just to the size of a molecule but beyond, until you can peer into the very heart of these bustling metropolises we spoke of. What we find there is not a simple collection of parts, but a breathtaking, self-organizing world, a miniature cosmos where every element plays a vital, interconnected role in the grand symphony of existence. The cell, in its elegant simplicity and profound complexity, is the fundamental unit of life. It is the smallest entity capable of independent existence, of growing, responding to its environment, reproducing and maintaining its internal balance, a truly miraculous feat of self-governance. It is where the abstract concept of life takes tangible form. As we approach this microscopic marvel, the first thing we encounter is its boundary, its very skin, the cell membrane. Far from a passive wall, think of it as a shimmering, intelligent frontier, a sentinel that guards the inner sanctum while also facilitating a constant vital dialogue with the outside world. This membrane is primarily composed of those fascinating lipids we discussed, phospholipids, arranged in a delicate double layer, a bilayer. Picture a vast fluid mosaic, like a living ocean, teeming with tiny rafts, each raft a protein, floating and moving within the lipid sea. This isn't a rigid fortress, it's a dynamic, discerning interface. It allows certain molecules to pass through with ease like a familiar friend entering a home, while actively transporting others, or steadfastly denying entry to still others, much like a meticulous bouncer at an exclusive club. Proteins embedded within this lipid sea act as gates, pumps, receptors, and identifiers. They are the membrane's eyes, ears, and hands. They receive messages from other cells, transport nutrients inward, expel waste outward, and ensure the cell maintains its unique identity amidst a crowded physiological landscape. Without this intelligent boundary, the cell would simply dissolve, its precious internal environment merging with the chaos outside. It is the first crucial act of self-definition. Once past this living frontier, we find ourselves immersed in the cytosol, the aqueous jelly-like substance that fills the cell, often referred to as the cytoplasm when including the organelles suspended within it. This isn't just inert filler. It's a bustling, aqueous landscape, a living sea where countless chemical reactions unfold, where the cell's raw materials are dissolved, and where messages are relayed. Think of it as the vibrant, energetic marketplace of the cell, where goods are exchanged and the hum of activity is constant. It provides the medium for all the intricate dances of molecules we're about to witness. Now, let us venture deeper into this inner sanctum, to the very heart of the cell, the grand library and command center, the nucleus. It is typically the largest and most prominent organelle, often beautifully spherical, encased within its own double membrane, the nuclear envelope, which is punctuated by tiny pores, gates for selective communication. Inside, nestled within its protective layers, resides the cell's most precious treasure, its DNA. The DNA, those nucleic acids we revered as the grand blueprint of life, is meticulously organized into structures called chromosomes. Here, within the nucleus, this magnificent genetic library holds every instruction, every recipe, every design specification for every protein the cell might ever need to build, every function it needs to perform, every characteristic that defines it. It is the silent, intricate score from which the symphony of life is played. Imagine a vast, ancient parchment covered in an unbelievably tiny, yet perfectly precise script. This script is our heritage, our potential, our very identity. The nucleus, then, is not just a storage facility, it is the archive, the control room, and the master scheduler, determining which genes are expressed and when, ensuring the cell operates according to its preordained, yet adaptable plan. But a blueprint, however magnificent, is useless without the means to execute its instructions. For that, we turn our gaze to the cell's tireless power plants, the boi, or mitochondria. These remarkable organelles, often bean-shaped with distinctive folded inner membranes, are the true energy currency producers. They are the furnaces, the generators, the silent, relentless engines that convert the raw fuel from our food, those carbohydrates and lipids, into a usable form of energy called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This process, known as cellular respiration, is nothing short of alchemical. It's a series of elegant biochemical reactions that extract energy, much like a complex hydroelectric dam harnesses the power of flowing water. Without ATP, the cell would grind to a halt, every function ceasing. The mitochondria are the reason we can think, move. breathe, and simply be. They are a testament to the cell's ingenuity, providing the ceaseless power required for life's dynamic endeavours. And perhaps most fascinatingly, mitochondria possess their own small circular DNA, a whispered echo from a primeval past, suggesting they were once independent organisms, long ago integrated into the cellular cooperative, a beautiful example of ancient symbiosis woven into the very fabric of our being. Emerging from the nucleus, we encounter a vast interconnected network of membranes that winds throughout the cytosol, like a labyrinthine series of canals and flattened sacs. This is the endoplasmic reticulum, or ERC. It comes in two primary forms, each with its specialized tasks. The rough ER is studded with tiny granular particles called ribosomes, giving it a textured appearance. These ribosomes are the cell's protein-making factories. They are the molecular machines that read the instructions copied from the DNA in the nucleus in the form of messenger RNA, and translate them into a specific sequence of amino acids, assembling proteins with astonishing speed and precision. The rough ER, with its attached ribosomes, is therefore primarily involved in synthesizing proteins destined for secretion outside the cell, or for insertion into membranes, or for delivery to other organelles. It is the initial assembly line where raw materials are transformed into functional components. The smooth ER, by contrast, lacks ribosomes and appears, as its name suggests, smooth. It is a multitasking marvel, responsible for synthesizing lipids, including those crucial phospholipids for cell membranes and steroid hormones. It also plays a critical role in detoxifying harmful substances, like drugs and alcohol, making it particularly abundant in liver cells. Think of the smooth ER as the cell's chemical processing plant and detoxification center, ensuring internal purity and building essential fatty structures. Once proteins and lipids are synthesized in the ER, they often need further modification, sorting and packaging before they can reach their final destination. This is where the elegant stack of flattened membrane-bound sacs, known as the Golgi apparatus, or Golgi complex, comes into play. Imagine it as the cell's sophisticated post office or distribution center. Molecules arrive from the ER, are chemically tagged, modified, and then sorted into different vesicles, tiny membrane-bound sacs that bud off from the Golgi. These vesicles then act as molecular delivery trucks, transporting their cargo to the correct location within the cell, or even fusing with the cell membrane to release their contents outside. The Golgi ensures that every protein and lipid goes exactly where it needs to be, a master of logistics in the microscopic world. No bustling metropolis is complete without an efficient waste management system, and the cell is no exception. This vital role is performed by lysosomes and peroxisomes. Lysosomes are like the cell's recycling and demolition crew. They are membrane-bound sacs filled with powerful digestive enzymes capable of breaking down worn-out organelles, cellular debris, and even invading bacteria or viruses. They are the ultimate recyclers, salvaging useful molecules and eliminating harmful ones. Peroxisomes, on the other hand, specialize in detoxifying specific harmful substances, particularly those that produce hydrogen peroxide, a potent cellular toxin. They contain enzymes that safely neutralize these byproducts, protecting the cell from oxidative damage. Together, they ensure the cell remains clean, healthy, and free from internal clutter. And finally, providing structure, support, and facilitating movement within this dynamic world, we find the cytoskeleton. This is not a rigid skeleton of bone, but a dynamic, intricate network of protein filaments and tubules that crisscross the entire cytoplasm. Think of it as the cell's internal scaffolding, its highway system, and its muscular apparatus all rolled into one. It gives the cell its shape, allows it to move, provides tracks for organelles to be transported along, and plays a crucial role in cell division. Microtubules, microfilaments, and intermediate filaments. Each type of protein fiber contributes to the cell's remarkable ability to maintain its integrity, change shape, and interact with its surroundings. It is the living architecture that allows the cell to be both stable and incredibly dynamic. So here we stand, having ventured through the cell's inner sanctum. We have seen the intelligent boundary of the membrane, the bustling marketplace of the cytosol, the grand library of the nucleus, the tireless power plants of the mitochondria, the intricate assembly lines of the the meticulous post office of the Golgi, the efficient recycling centers of the lysosomes and peroxisomes, and the dynamic scaffolding of the cytoskeleton. But have we answered our initial question? How do these molecular components transcend mere matter to become dynamic, self-sustaining living entities? The answer, I believe, lies not in any single component, but in their astonishing interconnectedness and emergent properties. It is the ceaseless, coordinated, and self-regulating interplay of all these parts that breathes life into the molecular machinery. It's the constant flow of energy and information, the precise timing of reactions, the exquisite communication between organelles, and the cell's innate ability to adapt and repair itself. The cell is not merely a collection of organelles, it is a living system, a miniature ecosystem, where each part contributes to a greater unified whole that is far more than the sum of its individual components. It is the emergent property of life itself, arising from the complex organization and dynamic interactions of non-living molecules. It is the silent, ongoing miracle that allows us to exist, to think, to feel, to dream. As we gently withdraw from this astonishing microscopic realm, let us carry with us a profound sense of wonder. For every breath we take, every thought we form, every beat of our heart is a testament to the tireless, intricate symphony playing within billions upon billions of these tiny, self-contained universes. And in our next exploration, we shall begin to see how these individual cellular orchestras come together to form even grander, more complex harmonies, the tissues and organs that make up our magnificent human form. The journey, my curious friends, has only just begun. We have journeyed inward, haven't we? From the shimmering dance of atoms to the intricate, self-sustaining marvel of the cell. We've witnessed how life orchestrates itself at its most fundamental level. We marveled at the cell membrane, the nucleus, the mitochondria, each a miniature world of purpose and precision. We concluded that life in all its astonishing complexity isn't found in any single component, but rather in the breathtaking symphony of their collective existence, in their emergent properties. But the story, as you might suspect, does not end there. For you and I, and indeed all multicellular beings, are not merely a collection of isolated cells. Imagine, if you will, a vast, bustling city. While each building, each street, each individual resident has its own vital role, true societal function arises when these elements collaborate, when they form districts, neighborhoods, and intricate networks. So it is within us. Today, we embark on the next magnificent chapter, understanding how these brilliant individual cells decide to specialize, to collaborate, and to form the larger, more complex structures we call tissues. And from tissues how organs arise, and then entire systems, finally culminating in the wondrous integrated organism that is you. Let's begin our exploration with the concept of a tissue. Simply put, a tissue is a group of similar cells, along with their extracellular matrix, that work together to perform a specific shared function. Think of it as a specialized team within the body's grand architecture. Just as a construction crew has carpenters, electricians, and plumbers, your body employs different types of cellular teams, each with its unique skill set. There are 4 primary fundamental types of tissues that form the very fabric of your body. Each plays an indispensable role, a silent, ceaseless performance that allows you to breathe, think, move, and feel. We call them epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue. Let's unfold them one by one. First, let us contemplate epithelial tissue. If your body were a meticulously wrapped gift, epithelial tissue would be its elegant, protective paper, both inside and out. It's the tissue that covers body surfaces, lines body cavities, and forms glands. Picture your skin. That's epithelial tissue. Now imagine the lining of your mouth, your stomach, your blood vessels, or the tiny air sacs in your lungs, all epithelial. What makes this tissue so remarkable? Its cells are densely packed, often forming continuous sheets, like a tightly woven fabric. They have a distinct polarity, meaning they have a top apical surface, often exposed to the exterior or a cavity, and a bottom basal surface, which is anchored to underlying connective tissue by a delicate non-cellular glue called the basement membrane. This arrangement allows them to perform their diverse functions with precision. Epithelial tissues are masters of protection, shielding us from physical abrasion, chemical damage, and microbial invasion. They are also adept at secretion, forming glands that produce everything from sweat and hormones to digestive enzymes. They excel at absorption, drawing nutrients from your food into your bloodstream, and at filtration, sifting substances in your kidneys. Their cells regenerate rapidly, a testament to their constant exposure and vital role in maintaining the integrity of our internal and external frontiers. Though typically avascular, meaning they lack their own blood supply, they are nourished by diffusion from the underlying connective tissue, a beautiful example of inter-tissue cooperation. We categorize epithelial tissues based on their cell shape: squamous for flat, cuboidal for cube-like, columnar for column-like, and the number of cell layers, simple for one layer, stratified for multiple layers. Simple epithelia are designed for absorption, secretion, and filtration, where a thin barrier is advantageous, while stratified epithelia are built for protection in areas of high abrasion. Think of the delicate, simple squamous lining of your lungs, allowing gases to pass easily, versus the tough, stratified squamous epithelium of your skin, designed to withstand the world. Next, we encounter connective tissue, the unsung hero, the silent scaffolding, the ubiquitous glue that holds everything together, literally. If epithelial tissue is the body's wrapping, then connective tissue is the intricate network of ribbons, packing peanuts, and structural supports within the box. It is the most abundant and widely distributed tissue type in your body, found almost everywhere. Unlike epithelial tissue, connective tissue cells are often sparsely arranged, embedded in a rich, non-living extracellular matrix. This matrix is the defining characteristic of connective tissue, consisting of a ground substance, an amorphous material that fills the space between cells and fibers, and various protein fibers, collagen for strength, elastic for stretch, reticular for delicate support. It is this matrix that determines the tissue's specific properties, whether it's the rigid strength of bone, the flexible resilience of cartilage, or the fluid nature of blood. Connective tissue performs a dazzling array of functions. It binds and supports other tissues, like tendons connecting muscle to bone, or ligaments connecting bone to bone. It protects organs. It insulates. Adipose tissue or fat keeps us warm. It transports in substances. Blood, a fluid connective tissue, carries oxygen and nutrients, and it stores energy. Again, adipose tissue. Consider the incredible diversity within this single category. Loose connective tissue, like areolar tissue, acts as a soft, pliable packing material around organs, holding them in place. Adipose tissue, fat, provides insulation, energy storage, and organ protection. Dense connective tissue, like tendons and ligaments, is packed with collagen fibers, providing immense tensile strength. Cartilage offers flexible support, found in your nose, ears, and joints. Bone, a hard and rigid connective tissue, forms your skeleton, providing structure and protection. And as mentioned, blood, with its plasma matrix and cellular components, is the body's internal transport system. The sheer adaptability and pervasive presence of connective tissue underscore its critical role in maintaining the structural and functional integrity of the entire organism. Our third primary tissue type is muscle tissue, the very embodiment of movement and power. If the body is a grand machine, then muscle tissue comprises its engines and levers, constantly working, often without our conscious command. Its primary characteristic is what contractility, the ability to shorten forcefully, generating force and producing movement. Muscle cells, often called muscle fibers due to their elongated shape, are packed with specialized proteins, actin and myosin, that slide past each other, causing the cell to contract. This contraction allows for everything from the gross movements of your limbs to the subtle contractions that push blood through your vessels or food through your digestive tract. We recognize three distinct types of muscle tissue, each with its unique structure and function. Unser skeletal muscle. This is the muscle you typically think of, attached to bones, responsible for voluntary movement like walking, lifting, speaking. Its cells are long, cylindrical, multinucleated, and exhibit prominent striations, bands, under a microscope. You are the conductor of this orchestra, directing its every powerful contraction. Cardiac muscle. Found exclusively in the wall of the heart, cardiac muscle is responsible for pumping blood throughout your body. It is involuntary, meaning you don't consciously control its rhythmic beating. Like skeletal muscle, it is striated, but its cells are shorter, branched, and typically have a single nucleus, interconnected by specialized junctions called intercalated discs, which allow for rapid coordinated contraction. It beats tirelessly, a testament to its vital purpose. Smooth muscle. This muscle is found in the walls of hollow internal organs, like the stomach, intestines, bladder, and blood vessels. It is also involuntary and lacks striations, appearing smooth under a microscope. Smooth muscle contractions are generally slower and more sustained, responsible for processes like propelling food through your digestive tract, regulating blood pressure, or emptying your bladder. It is the silent, efficient worker maintaining the rhythm of your inner world. Finally, we arrive at the nervous tissue, the body's intricate, lightning-fast communication network, its command and control center. If the body is a complex computer, Nervous tissue is its wiring, its processors, and its operating system, allowing for sensation, thought, memory, and coordinated action. Nervous tissue is the main component of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves, and it is uniquely specialized to transmit electrical signals, nerve impulses, or action potentials rapidly over long distances. This allows for instant communication between different parts of the body, orchestrating responses to both internal and external stimuli. It consists of two main types of cells. Neurons. These are the excitable nerve cells that generate and transmit electrical signals. Each neuron has a cell body, soema, dendrites, receiving branches, and an axon, transmitting fiber that can be remarkably long. They are the fundamental units of communication, forming complex circuits that underpin all mental and physical functions. Neuroglia, glial cells. These are the supporting cells of the nervous system. Far outnumbering neurons, glial cells do not transmit electrical signals themselves, but they provide crucial structural support, insulate neurons, supply nutrients, remove waste, and maintain the chemical environment necessary for neuronal function. They are the unsung heroes, the diligent caretakers of the delicate neural landscape. Together, neurons and glial cells form an unparalleled system for sensing, interpreting, and responding to the world, allowing for consciousness, emotion, and the incredible adaptability that defines human experience. So we have journeyed through the four fundamental tissue types, but now another layer of complexity unfurls before us. Just as individual cells collaborate to form tissues, different types of tissues come together in highly organized ways to form biological organs. An organ is a discrete structure composed of at least two, but usually all four, primary tissue types, working in concert to perform a specific, often complex, physiological function. Consider for a moment your stomach. It is an organ, isn't it? But it's not made of just one type of tissue. Its inner lining, responsible for secreting digestive juices and absorbing some substances, is made of epithelial tissue. Beneath that, a layer of wall connective tissue provides support, elasticity, and houses blood vessels and nerves. The bulk of the stomach wall is composed of layers of smooth muscle tissue, which churns and mixes food, propelling it onward. And throughout all these layers, a rich network of nervous tissue regulates its contractions and secretions, ensuring the digestive process unfolds smoothly. This harmonious interplay of different tissues, each contributing its specialized function, is what allows the stomach to perform its overarching role in digestion. The heart, the lungs, the brain, the kidneys, the liver, each is a masterpiece of multi-tissue integration, a testament to the body's sophisticated design. Each organ performs a vital specialized task, contributing to the overall well-being of the organism, and the hierarchy continues to ascend. Just as tissues form organs, groups of organs that cooperate to accomplish a common purpose form organ systems. The digestive system, for instance, includes the mouth, esophagus, stomach, intestines, liver, and pancreas, all working together to process food. The circulatory system, with the heart, blood vessels, and blood, ensures vital transport throughout the body. The nervous system, comprising the brain, spinal cord, and nerves, coordinates and controls virtually every bodily function. As we stand at this vantage point, observing the magnificent progression from cells to tissues to organs, and finally to organ systems, a profound understanding begins to emerge. The organism, the complete human being, is not just a collection of these parts, but an astonishingly integrated, self-regulating and self-repairing entity. Each level of organization builds upon the last, adding layers of complexity and emergent properties, culminating in the vibrant, conscious life we experience. The wonder, dear friend, lies not just in the existence of these parts, but in their ceaseless, intricate dance of cooperation. It is a symphony of biological processes, unfolding within you at every moment, a testament to the enduring miracle of life. And as we continue our journey, we will delve deeper into these organ systems, unraveling the elegant mechanisms that allow you to live, to thrive, and to contemplate the very machinery that makes it all possible. Join me again as we continue to peel back the layers of this astonishing universe within. Our journey inward into the astonishing universe of the human body has thus far unveiled the intricate dance of atoms forming molecules, the bustling metropolis of the cell, and the elegant organization of cells into tissues and organs. We've seen how these individual components, each with its own profound purpose, coalesce into something far greater than the sum of their parts, the organ system. These systems, working in concert, are the grand narratives of our physiology, each a chapter in the story of what it means to be alive. Now, as we stand at the threshold of this next revelation, let us step deeper into the living museum of the human form, to explore these magnificent systems one by one, appreciating the exquisite harmony and ceaseless cooperation that define our very existence. What an incredible spectacle awaits us, a testament to billions of years of evolutionary refinement unfolding within each of us at every single moment. Our first encounter with this grand design is often its outermost layer, the one that greets the world and defines our physical boundary, the very integumentary system. Imagine, if you will, not merely a covering, but a living, breathing tapestry that cloaks our entire form. This isn't just skin, it is a dynamic, multi-layered organ system, comprising the skin, hair, nails, and various glands. Think of it as our body's primary interface with the external world, a protective shield against a myriad of threats, from harmful microbes to the relentless rays of the sun. It is a waterproof barrier, a temperature regulator, and a sensory marvel, all rolled into one. When you feel the gentle caress of a breeze, the warmth of the sun, or the sharp prick of a thorn, it is your integumentary system translating those external stimuli into the language your brain understands. It is a silent sentinel, always vigilant, always adapting, constantly renewing itself. What an astonishing feat of engineering, this living garment that we so often take for granted. It reminds us that even our boundaries are active participants in the symphony of life, not mere passive perimeters. Beneath this protective cloak lies the body's silent architecture, the magnificent scaffolding that gives us form and allows us to move through the world, the skeletal system. Consider the elegant design of your bones, not inert, rigid structures, but dynamic, living tissues, constantly remodeling themselves, adapting to the stresses and strains of your life. This system, composed of bones, cartilage, ligaments, and tendons, does so much more than simply hold us upright. It provides crucial support for our soft tissues, protects our most vital organs. Imagine the rib cage guarding the heart and lungs, or the skull cradling the delicate brain. But there's more to this story. Within the marrow of some bones, a hidden factory hums with activity, churning out the very cells that constitute our blood, the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Our bones also serve as a vital reservoir for minerals, particularly calcium and phosphorus, releasing them into the bloodstream as needed, maintaining a delicate balance essential for countless physiological processes. It is a framework of strength and resilience, yet also a site of continuous renewal and vital production. Truly, it is a testament to the body's holistic genius that structure and function are so deeply intertwined. But a structure, however grand, needs motion. And this brings us to the muscular system, the body's engines, the silent, tireless workers that enable every gesture, every breath, every beat of your heart. From the voluntary movements that propel us through space, the powerful contraction of a quadricep, the delicate flex of a finger, to the involuntary rhythms that sustain us, the churning of your stomach, the constriction of blood vessels, muscles are perpetually at work. We explored the 3 types of muscle tissue in our last gathering: the skeletal muscles, under our conscious command, the smooth muscles performing their unseen duties within our organs, and the cardiac muscle, the singular, tireless pump of the heart. Each muscle fiber is a microscopic masterpiece, a bundle of specialized proteins designed for contraction, pulling and shortening, generating force. Together they form a symphony of contraction and relaxation, allowing us to interact with our environment, to express emotion, to maintain posture, and to circulate the very essence of life throughout our being. The muscular system is a profound expression of energy transformed into action, a constant reminder of the dynamic vitality within us. And what orchestrates this intricate dance of protection, support, and movement? What allows us to perceive, to think, to feel, to communicate, and to coordinate every single function within our complex form? This, my friends, is the domain of the pairs nervous system, the grand conductor of our internal orchestra, the lightning-fast messenger and the seat of consciousness itself. This is perhaps one of the most awe-inspiring systems, a vast, shimmering network of billions of specialized cells called neurons, stretching from the tips of our toes to the highest reaches of our brain. We divide this system into 2 major realms: the central nervous system, CNS, comprising the brain and spinal cord, the command center where information is processed, decisions are made, and memories are stored, and the peripheral nervous system, PNS, the intricate web of nerves that extends outward from the CNS, carrying messages to and from every corner of the body. Think of the CNS as the central processing unit, and the PNS as the vast array of cables and sensors connecting it to the world. Through electrical impulses and chemical signals, known as neurotransmitters, neurons communicate with astonishing speed and precision. This allows for instantaneous responses to stimuli, pulling your hand away from a hot stove, and for the complex processing of sensory input that forms our perception of reality. It is the nervous system that allows us to see the colors of a sunset, hear the melody of a song, taste the sweetness of fruit, and feel the warmth of a loved one's embrace. It is the wellspring of our thoughts, our emotions, our dreams, and our unique personalities. To contemplate the nervous system is to gaze into the very core of what makes us us, a profound mystery unfolding within the dark, quiet confines of our skull. It is a system of unparalleled complexity, a universe of electrical and chemical whispers that gives rise to consciousness itself. Yet, alongside this electrical symphony, another, more subtle network operates, influencing our body's functions with a slower but equally profound touch: the endocrine system. While the nervous system uses electrical signals for rapid, targeted communication, the endocrine system employs chemical messengers called hormones, which are secreted directly into the bloodstream by specialized glands. These hormones travel throughout the body, acting on specific target cells and organs, regulating a vast array of processes that unfold over minutes, hours, days, or even a lifetime. Imagine a network of broadcasting stations, each gland a station, releasing its unique message, a hormone, into the body's circulatory river. These messages guide growth and development, regulate metabolism, how our body uses energy, maintain fluid and electrolyte balance, influence mood, control reproduction, and help us respond to stress. From the tiny pituitary gland, often called the master gland, which orchestrates other endocrine glands, to the thyroid gland, regulating our metabolic rate, to the adrenal glands, priming us for fight or flight, each gland plays a critical role in maintaining our internal equilibrium, a state known as homeostasis. Where the nervous system is the body's urgent phone call, the endocrine system is its steady guiding hand, sending out postcards that gradually shape and steer our physiological landscape. Together, these two remarkable systems, the nervous and the endocrine, form the body's intricate control and communication nexus, ensuring that every cell, every tissue, every organ, and every other system works in exquisite harmony, responding to both internal and external cues to maintain the delicate balance of life. As we conclude this initial exploration of just a few of the body's magnificent systems, I invite you to pause and reflect on the sheer genius woven into our very fabric. The integumentary system, our living shield, the skeletal system, our silent architecture, the muscular system, our engines of movement, and the nervous and endocrine systems, our grand conductors and subtle guides. Each is a world unto itself, yet each is inextricably linked to the others, a testament to the profound integration that defines the living organism. The human body is not a collection of separate parts, but a continuous, flowing tapestry of interconnected wonders, each thread vital to the whole. And this, my friends, is just the beginning of our exploration. There are so many more incredible systems awaiting our curious gaze, each holding further secrets to the miracle of life. Let us prepare for the next leg of our journey, with open minds and hearts attuned to the whispers of wonder within. As we journey deeper into the astonishing universe within, you might find yourself marveling at the sheer ingenuity of the systems we've already explored. The protective embrace of the integument, the steadfast support of the skeleton, the dynamic power of muscle, and the lightning-fast communication of the nervous and the subtle, enduring influence of the endocrine. Yet, this intricate tapestry of life is far from complete. There are so many more incredible systems, each playing a vital, indispensable role in the grand symphony that is you. Today we turn our gaze to the systems that ensure constant nourishment, purification, and the ceaseless flow of life itself. Imagine a bustling city thriving not just because of its infrastructure and governance, but because of its tireless delivery services, its efficient waste management, and its ability to breathe and take in vital resources from the outside world. This, in essence, is what we're about to explore. Let us begin with the heart of the matter, quite literally, the cardiovascular system. If the nervous system is the body's information superhighway, then the cardiovascular system is its tireless global transport network, ensuring that every single cell from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head receives precisely what it needs, precisely when it needs it. At its core is the most remarkable pump imaginable, your heart. Feel your pulse for a moment, if you will. That rhythmic thrum, that silent, persistent beat is the sound of life's engine, working without pause from before your birth until your very last breath. Your heart, a muscular organ roughly the size of your clenched fist, is an engineering marvel. It is in essence two pumps fused into one, separated by a wall called the septum. One side propels oxygen-depleted blood to the lungs to pick up a fresh supply, while the other side receives that oxygen-rich blood and vigorously pushes it out to every corner of your body. Think of it as a meticulously choreographed ballet of contraction and relaxation, each beat a testament to life's unwavering drive. From this central pump, a vast network of blood vessels branches out, stretching for an astonishing distance, over 60,000 miles in an adult. These are the arteries, veins, and capillaries, each with a specialized role. Arteries, with their thick, elastic walls, are the high-pressure conduits, carrying oxygenated blood away from the heart, robustly withstanding the force of each powerful beat. As they venture further into the tissues, they branch into smaller and smaller arterioles, eventually giving way to the truly miraculous capillaries. If you could shrink down to a size where you could witness this microscopic world, you would find the capillaries to be the true miracle workers. These are vessels so exquisitely fine, so incredibly narrow, that red blood cells must often squeeze through them in single file. Their walls are just one cell thick, a delicate membrane designed for the most crucial exchange. Here, in this silent, bustling marketplace, oxygen and nutrients gracefully diffuse out of the blood and into the hungry cells, while carbon dioxide and metabolic waste products diffuse in from the cells ready for transport away. It is a moment of profound generosity and perfect efficiency, repeated billions of times every second. After this vital exchange, the now oxygen-depleted and waste-laden blood begins its journey back to the heart through the veins. Unlike arteries, veins are lower-pressure vessels, often equipped with one-way valves to prevent blood from flowing backward, especially against gravity. They coalesce into larger and larger vessels, ultimately delivering the blood back to the heart, completing the grand circuit, ready to be sent to the lungs for reoxygenation. And what flows through these vessels? Blood itself, a truly remarkable fluid that is far more than just a red liquid. It is a living river, a complex tissue comprised of a watery plasma, the straw-coloured matrix carrying everything, red blood cells, the tireless oxygen carriers, packed with hemoglobin, white blood cells, the vigilant guardians of your immune system, and platelets, the tiny crucial fragments that initiate clotting and repair. Blood is the very essence of transport, carrying not just oxygen and nutrients, but also hormones, heat, and the molecular messages that keep your body in harmonious communication. Without this ceaseless flow, this incredible transport system, life as we know it would cease in mere moments. It is a constant testament to the body's commitment to internal balance, a liquid embodiment of its interconnectedness. Now, let us consider how this vital oxygen is acquired and how metabolic waste gases are expelled. This brings us to the respiratory system, the body's elegant interface with the external world, the silent engine of your breath. Every conscious or unconscious inhalation is a profound act of connection, drawing in the very essence of the atmosphere that sustains us. The journey of air begins through your nose or mouth, where it is warmed, humidified and filtered, before passing down the pharynx and larynx and then into the trachea, or windpipe. The trachea is a sturdy tube reinforced with C-shaped rings of cartilage, ensuring it remains open for the free passage of air. It then branches into two main bronchi, one leading to each lung, which further divide into smaller and smaller bronchioles, like the branches of an inverted tree. At the very end of these bronchioles lie the true marvels of gas exchange, the alveoli. Imagine millions of tiny, delicate air sacs clustered like miniature grapes, each enveloped by a dense capillary network. In fact, your lungs contain approximately 100 to 500 million alveoli, providing a total surface area for gas exchange roughly the size of a tennis court. It is here, across the incredibly thin membrane separating the air in the alveoli from the blood in the capillaries, that the magic happens. Oxygen, driven by differences in partial pressure, diffuses effortlessly from the inhaled air into your bloodstream, eagerly binding to the hemoglobin in your red blood cells. Simultaneously, carbon dioxide, a waste product of cellular metabolism, diffuses just as readily from your blood into the alveoli, ready to be exhaled. This incredible process is largely driven by the diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle located beneath the lungs. When the diaphragm contracts, it flattens, increasing the volume of your chest cavity and creating negative pressure, which draws air into your lungs. When it relaxes, it domes upward, decreasing the volume and pushing air out. It is a beautifully simple yet profoundly effective mechanism, working tirelessly, often without a conscious thought, ensuring that every cell in your body receives its life-sustaining oxygen and expels its metabolic burdens. The rhythmic rise and fall of your chest is not just a physical act. It is the visible manifestation of life's continuous negotiation with the environment, a constant dance of taking in and letting go. With oxygen delivered and waste gases expelled, our attention now turns to how the body acquires the building blocks and energy it needs from the external world. Enter the magnificent digestive system, a journey of transformation that begins the moment food touches your lips and ends when all useful nutrients have been extracted. It is a remarkable internal factory, meticulously breaking down complex substances into their simplest, most absorbable forms. The journey begins in the mouth, where mechanical digestion, chewing, and chemical digestion, salivary enzymes beginning to break down carbohydrates, commence. The food, now a softened bolus, travels down the esophagus, a muscular tube that propels it to the stomach through rhythmic contractions called peristalsis. The stomach is a muscular, shaped organ, a churning cauldron where food is mixed with powerful gastric acids and enzymes, further breaking down proteins. After a few hours, this semi-digested mixture, now called chyme, is slowly released into the small intestine. This is where the real work of absorption takes place. The small intestine, despite its name, is an incredibly long coiled tube, about 20 feet in an adult, and its inner surface is a marvel of biological engineering. It is lined with millions of tiny finger-like projections called villi, and these villi in turn are covered with even tinier microvilli. This creates an enormous surface area, comparable to a football field, perfectly designed to absorb nutrients. Here, with the aid of enzymes from the pancreas and bile from the liver stored in the gallbladder air, carbohydrates are broken into simple sugars, proteins into amino acids, and fats into fatty acids and glycerol. These tiny, now absorbable molecules pass through the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream or lymphatic system, ready to fuel and rebuild your body. What remains, undigested food particles, water and waste, then moves into the large intestine. Here, the primary role is water absorption, compacting the remaining material into feces for elimination. It is also home to a vast and complex ecosystem of beneficial bacteria, your gut microbiome, which plays crucial roles in digestion, vitamin synthesis, and immune function, a whole universe within a universe. From the first bite to the final absorption, The digestive system is a testament to the body's extraordinary capacity for transformation, turning the external world into the very fabric of you. Finally, as our internal city works tirelessly, generating energy and building new structures, waste products inevitably arise. Just as any thriving metropolis needs an efficient waste management system, your body relies on the urinary system to filter your blood, remove metabolic wastes, and maintain the delicate balance of fluids and electrolytes essential for life. At the heart of this system are your two or kidneys, bean-shaped organs nestled just below your rib cage, one on each side of your spine. These are not merely filters, they are sophisticated processing plants, working tirelessly, filtering about 120-150 quarts of blood. Every day, each kidney contains over 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. Imagine each nephron as a miniature, highly specialized laboratory. Blood enters the nephron and water, salts, glucose, amino acids, and waste products like urea are filtered out, forming a fluid called filtrate. But the kidneys are far too intelligent to simply flush everything away. As this filtrate travels through the intricate tubules of the nephron, the body reclaims what it needs, almost all the water, glucose and amino acids, and precise amounts of salts, returning them to the bloodstream. Only the true waste products, dissolved in a carefully regulated amount of water, continue on to become a urine. This urine then travels down two narrow tubes called ureters to the urinary bladder, a muscular sac that temporarily stores it until it's eliminated from the body through the urethra. The urinary system, therefore, is a silent guardian of your internal environment, a master of homeostasis. It not only removes toxins but also meticulously regulates your blood pressure, red blood cell production, and the critical balance of acids and bases in your blood. It is a profound example of the body's dedication to self-maintenance, a continuous act of purification and renewal. As we conclude this exploration of the cardiovascular, respiratory, digestive, and urinary systems, I hope you feel a deeper appreciation for the seamless, intricate dance occurring within you at every moment. These systems, far from operating in isolation, are profoundly interconnected, each relying on the others in a delicate balance. The oxygen delivered by the respiratory system is transported by the cardiovascular system, which then carries nutrients absorbed by the digestive system and whisks away wastes processed by the urinary system. It is a symphony of sustenance and flow, a testament to the elegant design of life. We have now journeyed through many of the major organ systems, catching glimpses of their individual brilliance and their collective harmony. But there remain even more wonders to uncover, systems dedicated to reproduction, to immunity, and to the intricate coordination that allows us to perceive and interact with the world. Join me next time as we continue our exploration into the boundless intricacies of the human form, where every discovery deepens our awe and understanding of this incredible existence. As we journey deeper into the astonishing universe that resides within each of us, we've marveled at the intricate dance of atoms forming molecules, molecules building cells, and cells weaving together to create tissues, organs, and the magnificent systems that sustain our individual lives. We've explored the body's architecture, its communication networks, its transport pathways, and its relentless pursuit of internal balance. But even as these systems tirelessly work to maintain our personal equilibrium, there is a constant unseen frontier where battles are waged and the very integrity of our being is defended. This brings us to another pair of vital systems, often working hand in hand, safeguarding us from the myriad threats that exist both within and without. the lymphatic and immune systems. Imagine, if you will, that our body is not just a bustling metropolis, but also a sovereign nation, constantly under surveillance, its borders vigilantly protected, and its internal peace maintained by an intricate network of security forces. This, my dear friends, is where the lymphatic system steps forward. A silent, often overlooked, yet absolutely crucial network of vessels, nodes and organs. Think of the cardiovascular system as the grand highway network, carrying blood to every corner of the body. But not all the fluid that leaks out of those tiny capillaries finds its way back directly into the bloodstream. Here, the lymphatic system acts as a sophisticated drainage and recycling service. It collects this excess interstitial fluid, now called lymph, a pale, watery substance rich in proteins, fats, and sometimes cellular debris, and gently guides it back into the bloodstream. Without this tireless collection, our tissues would swell and our balance of fluids would quickly spiral into chaos. But its role extends far beyond mere plumbing. The lymphatic system is also a critical staging ground and transport network for our immune cells. Along its pathways, we encounter structures known as lymph nodes, strategically placed like miniature, highly efficient filtration centers. If you were to peer inside a lymph node, you would see a bustling hub, teeming with specialized white blood cells, lymphocytes, patiently waiting. Here, foreign invaders like bacteria, viruses, or even abnormal cells are filtered out of the lymph, presented to these immune cells, and if recognized as a threat, a powerful immune response is initiated. Beyond the nodes, other lymphatic organs play their part. The spleen, a large blood-rich organ nestled under your ribs, acts as a major blood filter, removing old red blood cells and housing a vast reservoir of immune cells ready for action. The thymus tucked behind your breastbone is a crucial training academy for a specific type of lymphocyte called T cells, ensuring they learn to distinguish self from non-self. And let's not forget the tonsils, Peyer's patches in the intestines, and the appendix, all strategically positioned to intercept pathogens at common entry points. Together, these components form a comprehensive, vigilant system, constantly monitoring, filtering, and preparing for defense. And what a defense it is! This brings us to the magnificent, awe-inspiring immune system itself, the body's ultimate guardian, a complex and adaptive army capable of recognizing, remembering, and neutralizing an astonishing array of threats. It is a system so sophisticated, so intelligent, that it can differentiate between a benign pollen grain and a deadly virus, between our own healthy cells and those that have turned cancerous. The immune system operates on two interconnected fronts: innate immunity and adaptive immunity. Innate immunity is our body's first immediate and non-specific line of defense. Think of it as the general security measures, the castle walls, the vigilant guards, and the immediate response team. Our skin and mucous membranes form a robust physical barrier, preventing most pathogens from even entering. Should they breach these defenses, an army of phagocytes, eating cells like macrophages and neutrophils, are on patrol, engulfing and digesting invaders. Natural killer cells hunt down and destroy infected or cancerous cells. And if a localized battle erupts, the body orchestrates inflammation, a coordinated response involving redness, swelling, heat and pain, all designed to contain the threat, recruit more immune cells, and initiate repair. Even a fever, that uncomfortable rise in body temperature, is a deliberate immune strategy, creating an environment less favorable for pathogens and boosting our own cellular defenses. This innate response is fast, always ready, but it doesn't learn or adapt to specific threats. That, my friends, is the domain of adaptive immunity. The body's special forces, its intelligence agency, its memory bank, This system is slower to activate initially, but it is exquisitely specific and possesses the incredible ability to remember past encounters, mounting a swifter, more potent response upon re-exposure. This is why we develop immunity to certain diseases after exposure or vaccination. Adaptive immunity primarily involves two types of lymphocytes, B cells and T cells. B cells here are the architects of both humoral immunity. When a B cell encounters a specific foreign invader, an antigen, it can differentiate into plasma cells that produce vast quantities of antibodies. Imagine these antibodies as molecular-guided missiles, perfectly shaped to bind to specific antigens on pathogens. They don't directly destroy the enemy, but they fag them for destruction by other immune cells, neutralize toxins, or prevent viruses from infecting cells. T cells, on the other hand, mediate cell-mediated immunity. They are the direct combatants and strategic commanders. There are different types. Helper T cells are the generals, identifying invaders and activating other immune cells, including B cells and cytotoxic T cells. Cytotoxic T cells, also called killer T cells, are the assassins directly recognizing and destroying cells that are infected with viruses or have become cancerous. Memory T cells and memory B cells are the system's historians, persisting for years or even a lifetime, ready to rapidly mobilize if the same pathogen ever dares to return. The interplay between innate and adaptive immunity is a symphony of coordinated action. Innate immune cells often present antigens to adaptive immune cells, initiating the specific response. It is a system of profound elegance and terrifying efficiency, constantly learning, adapting, and protecting us from an invisible world of threats. To contemplate this intricate self-defense mechanism, working silently, ceaselessly, without our conscious command, is to stand in awe of the sheer genius embedded within our biology. Now, as we conclude our survey of the systems dedicated to the survival and well-being of the individual, we arrive at a system that transcends the singular self, reaching into the very essence of life's perpetuation, the reproductive system. While not essential for the survival of the individual organism, it is, without question, utterly indispensable for the survival of the species, for the continuation of life itself. It is the system through which the torch of existence is passed from one generation to the next, weaving the grand tapestry of evolution and legacy. This system, unlike others, exhibits profound differences between the sexes, yet both male and female systems share the fundamental purpose of producing specialized reproductive cells called gametes, and the hormones necessary for their development and the support of a new life. Let's first consider the male reproductive system. Its primary role is the production and delivery of sperm, the male gamete, and the synthesis of male sex hormones, predominantly testosterone. The centerpiece of this system are the testes, nestled within the scrotum, which serve as dual factories, producing millions of sperm daily through a remarkable process called spermatogenesis, and secreting testosterone, a hormone vital for male characteristics and sexual function. A complex network of ducts, including the epididymis, where sperm mature and are stored, and the vas deferens, transports these sperm. Along this journey, accessory glands like the seminal vesicles and the prostate gland contribute fluids that nourish the sperm and create semen, providing a protective and mobile medium. Finally, the urethra within the sac penis serves as the conduit for the delivery of semen during intercourse. It is a highly specialized, efficient system designed for the precise task of transmitting genetic information. The female reproductive system is, in many ways, even more astonishing in its complexity and its capacity to not only produce the female gamete, but also to nurture, house, and deliver a new human being. The primary organs are the ovaries, two almond-shaped structures that produce eggs, ova, the female gametes, and synthesize crucial female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone. These hormones orchestrate the menstrual cycle, regulate female secondary sexual characteristics, and prepare the body for potential pregnancy. Each month, typically, one mature egg is released from an ovary and begins its journey down a fallopian tube. This is where the magic often happens. If sperm are present, fertilization, the fusion of sperm and egg, usually occurs within the fallopian tube. The fertilized egg, now a zygote, then embarks on an incredible journey, dividing rapidly as it travels towards the uterus. The uterus, or a muscular pear-shaped organ, is often described as the sacred cradle of life. Here, if fertilization has occurred, the developing embryo will implant into the richly prepared uterine lining, beginning the miraculous process of gestation. The uterus then expands dramatically over approximately 9 months, protecting and nourishing the growing fetus. The cervix, the narrow lower part of the uterus, connects to the vagina, a muscular canal that serves as the birth canal during childbirth and receives sperm during intercourse. The external genitalia complete this incredible system, designed not just for reproduction, but also for sexual sensation. To contemplate the reproductive system is to gaze upon the ultimate act of creation, the handing down of a biological blueprint, the fusion of two microscopic cells giving rise to a new, unique individual, a universe in miniature. It is a profound testament to life's inherent drive to persist, to diversify, and to flourish across generations. And so, my curious companions, we have journeyed through the entire landscape of the human body's organ systems, from the protective integument to the supportive skeleton, the dynamic muscles, the communicating nerves, the regulating hormones, the circulating blood, the breathing lungs, the digesting gut, the filtering kidneys, the defending immune cells, and finally the perpetuating reproductive organs, each system a masterpiece in itself, yet none capable of truly functioning in isolation. What we have seen is not a collection of disparate parts, but an intricately woven, dynamically interacting whole. Life as we experience it is an yet emergent property, a quality that arises from the complex interactions of simpler components, yet is not present in any of them individually. It is the grand symphony played by billions of cells, each following its score, yet together creating a melody of consciousness, sensation, and existence that is far more beautiful and profound than any single note could ever be. Our exploration of the fundamental basics has brought us to this realization. The human body is not merely a machine, but a living, breathing testament to the universe's capacity for self-organization and wonder. But our journey isn't over. Having understood the players, we must now delve into the intricate rules of the game, how these systems maintain their perfect balance, how they adapt to change, and how they ultimately define what it means to be alive. Let us prepare then to understand the subtle art of homeostasis, the very essence of physiological regulation, in our next shared moment of quiet discovery. And so we have journeyed through the magnificent architecture of the human form, from the silent shimmering dance of atoms to the bustling metropolises of cells, the intricate tapestries of tissues, and the grand collaborative designs of organ systems. We have marveled at what the body is made of and what each part tirelessly does, how our integumentary shield protects us, how our skeletal frame supports us, how our muscles propel us, how our nervous system illuminates our consciousness, and how our endocrine messengers whisper their commands. We have explored the tireless work of our sustenance systems, drawing life from the world around us, and the vigilant guardianship of our immune defences, ever watchful against unseen threats. We have even touched upon the profound legacy of our reproductive system carrying the spark of life forward. But now, as we pause in this quiet corner of curiosity, a deeper question emerges, one that whispers from the very core of this astonishing biological symphony. How? How, amidst the ceaseless activity, the constant intake and output, the internal and external fluctuations, does this intricate, delicate machinery maintain its exquisite balance? How does the body, this living, breathing universe within us, remain so remarkably stable, so perfectly tuned, even as the world around it, and indeed the world within it, is in perpetual flux? This, my dear companions, is where we encounter one of the most fundamental and awe-inspiring principles of human physiology: homeostasis. The word itself, homeostasis, holds a gentle clue. It springs from the Greek homeo, meaning same, and meaning standing still. Yet, I invite you not to imagine a static, unchanging state, for life itself is defined by movement and transformation. Instead, envision a dynamic equilibrium, a constant, elegant dance of adjustments and counter-adjustments, ensuring that the body's internal environment remains within incredibly narrow, life-sustaining limits. It is the body's tireless commitment to maintaining its ideal conditions, a silent internal vigilance that allows us to thrive. Think of it as a master conductor orchestrating an immense, complex symphony. Each instrument, each section must play its part, not in isolation, but in perfect harmony with the others. If one section begins to drift, the conductor, with subtle cues and adjustments, brings it back into sync. Our body is just such an orchestra, and the conductor is a sophisticated network of control systems constantly monitoring and responding. At the heart of this self-regulating marvel lies a beautifully simple yet incredibly powerful mechanism. For any given variable that the body needs to keep stable, be it temperature, blood glucose levels, pH, or fluid balance, there is a dedicated control system. This system typically involves three crucial components working in seamless concert. First, there is the receptor, or sensor. Imagine tiny vigilant sentinels stationed throughout your body, constantly measuring the internal environment. These receptors are specialized cells or nerve endings that detect changes in a particular variable from its ideal set point. If your body temperature begins to rise, for instance, specialized thermoreceptors in your skin and internal organs immediately sense this deviation. They are the early warning system, the watchful eyes and ears of our internal world. Next, the information gathered by these receptors is relayed to the control center. This is often a specific area of the brain or an endocrine gland acting as the body's central processing unit. The control center receives the input from the receptors, integrates it, and compares it to the desired set point. It's like the central command console, evaluating the incoming data and making crucial decisions. If the control center receives signals that your body temperature is too high, it then orchestrates the appropriate response. Finally, the control center communicates with the effector. The effector is the component that carries out the response, bringing the variable back towards its set point. These are often muscles or glands. In our temperature example, effectors might include sweat glands to release heat through evaporation, or blood vessels in the skin to dilate and allow more heat to escape. The effectors are the diligent workers, executing the commands to restore balance. This elegant loop: receptor detects, control center evaluates, effector responds, is the fundamental blueprint for most homeostatic regulation. And the vast majority of these intricate balancing acts operate through what we call their negative feedback loops. Do not be misled by the word negative, for in this context it signifies not something undesirable, but rather a reversal or opposition. A negative feedback loop is a mechanism where the response of the effector negates or reverses the original stimulus, thereby bringing the variable back towards its set point. It's like a thermostat in your home. If the temperature rises above your set point, the thermostat control center activates the air conditioner effector to lower the temperature, thus negating the original rise. Let us explore a few profound examples of negative feedback, revealing the body's tireless dedication to its internal harmony. Consider your cells' body temperature. Our ideal internal temperature hovers around 98.6 degrees, 57 degrees. If you step out into a scorching summer day, your body temperature begins to rise. Thermoreceptors in your skin and hypothalamus, a key control center in your brain, detect this increase. The hypothalamus then orchestrates a response. It sends signals to your sweat glands, which begin to produce perspiration, cooling your skin as it evaporates. Simultaneously, blood vessels in your skin dilate, allowing more warm blood to flow closer to the surface where heat can radiate away. These actions reverse the rise in temperature, bringing your body back to its comfortable set point. Conversely, if you venture into a chilly winter morning, your body temperature might begin to drop. The same thermoreceptors alert the hypothalamus. This time, the hypothalamus initiates a different set of actions. Blood vessels in your skin constrict, minimizing heat loss from the surface. Your muscles might begin to shiver, generating heat through involuntary contractions. These responses reverse the drop in temperature, restoring warmth. This constant dynamic adjustment is the essence of negative feedback, a continuous push and pull, a whisper of correction, maintaining equilibrium. Another powerful illustration lies in the regulation of your blood glucose levels. After a meal, especially one rich in carbohydrates, glucose floods your bloodstream. Specialized cells in your pancreas, acting as both receptor and control center, detect this rise. In response, they release insulin, a powerful hormone. Insulin acts as an effector, signaling cells throughout your body, like muscle and liver cells, to take up glucose from the blood, storing it as glycogen, or using it for energy. This action lowers blood glucose, bringing it back to its optimal range. If, however, you haven't eaten for a while and blood glucose levels begin to fall, the pancreas releases another hormone, glucagon. Glucagon signals the liver to break down stored glycogen and release glucose back into the blood, raising the levels. Again, a beautiful self-correcting cycle. While negative feedback forms the bedrock of homeostatic regulation, there exists a rarer yet equally vital mechanism: positive feedback loops. Unlike their negative counterparts, positive feedback loops enhance or amplify the original stimulus, pushing the variable further in the same direction. These loops are not about maintaining a set point, but about driving a process to a swift, often explosive completion. Imagine a snowball rolling down a hill, gathering more snow and momentum as it goes. That's the essence of positive feedback. It's a mechanism reserved for specific crucial events that demand rapid intensification. One of the most beautiful and poignant examples is childbirth. As the baby's head presses against the cervix during labour, stretch receptors in the cervix send signals to the brain. The brain in turn releases oxytocin, a hormone that stimulates stronger uterine contractions. These stronger contractions then cause the baby to push harder against the cervix, leading to more stretch, more oxytocin release, and even stronger contractions. This positive feedback loop rapidly intensifies the contractions until the baby is delivered, bringing the process to its natural conclusion. Another vital instance of positive feedback is blood clotting. When a blood vessel is damaged, platelets adhere to the injury site. These activated platelets then release chemicals that attract more platelets to the site, which in turn release more chemicals, creating a rapid cascade that quickly seals the wound and prevents excessive blood loss. These two types of feedback mechanisms, negative and positive, illustrate the profound intelligence embedded within our biology. Negative feedback tirelessly guards our internal constancy, while positive feedback orchestrates the swift, decisive completion of critical life events. As we reflect on these intricate systems, we cannot help but be drawn back to the overarching theme of interconnectedness. No single organ system works in isolation. The maintenance of body temperature, for instance, involves the nervous system detecting changes and sending commands, the integumentary system, sweat glands and blood vessels in the skin, and the muscular system, shivering. Blood glucose regulation involves the digestive system absorbing nutrients, the endocrine system, pancreas and hormones, and the muscular and liver cells taking up and storing glucose. Every system, every cell plays a role in this grand, continuous effort to maintain the delicate balance that is life itself. Homeostasis, then, is the silent promise of our existence, the invisible hand that guides our internal cosmos. It is the reason we can adapt to changing environments, the foundation upon which all our conscious experiences are built. When these homeostatic mechanisms falter, when the body's ability to self-regulate is compromised, we experience illness, disease, and ultimately, if left unchecked, the cessation of life. Understanding homeostasis is not merely understanding a biological concept, it is understanding the very resilience and vulnerability of being alive. Take a moment, if you will, to simply breathe and acknowledge the incredible, tireless work happening within you right now. Without your conscious command, your blood pH is being meticulously guarded, your oxygen levels precisely maintained, your blood pressure carefully adjusted. It is a symphony of silent processes, a testament to the profound beauty and wisdom of the living organism. As we move forward, carrying this understanding of the body's internal vigilance, we will find that this concept of dynamic equilibrium underpins every aspect of our health and well-being. It is the stage upon which the drama of life unfolds, a constant reminder of the wonder that is us. Chapter 7 concluded with the grand revelation of homeostasis, the body's unwavering commitment to its own internal harmony, a dynamic equilibrium orchestrated by intricate feedback loops. We uncovered the tireless work of receptors, control centers, and effectors, silently negotiating the delicate balance of our existence. But now, as the night deepens, a gentle calm settles over our little corner of a quiet curiosity here at the Dreamy Academy. I invite you to move beyond the abstract and witness this magnificent principle in its full, breathtaking performance. Let us journey inward once more, not just to observe the players, but to watch the symphony itself unfold, note by careful note. Imagine, if you will, that our body is a vast, sophisticated ecosystem, teeming with life and activity. For this ecosystem to thrive, certain environmental conditions must remain incredibly stable. Think of the rainforest needing its specific humidity, or the desert its extreme temperatures. Our internal landscape is no different, yet far more finely tuned. Every enzyme, every protein, every cellular process you and I have explored so far functions optimally within a remarkably narrow range. Step outside that range, and the delicate machinery of life begins to falter. This is where the true genius of homeostasis shines. It is the unwavering gardener, the meticulous climate controller, the vigilant guardian of our inner world. Let's begin our observation with one of the most fundamental and universally understood aspects of our internal environment: temperature regulation, or thermoregulation. You feel it every day, don't you? The warmth of a summer sun, the chill of a winter breeze. Your body, however, maintains an astonishingly consistent core temperature, typically around 98.6 dF, 7 degrees, regardless of the external fluctuations. Why is this so crucial? Because the molecular machines we call enzymes, those tireless catalysts of life, are exquisitely sensitive to heat. Too hot, and they denature, losing their shape and function, much like an egg white solidifying when cooked. Too cold, and their activity slows to a crawl, rendering our metabolic processes sluggish and inefficient. So how does our internal climate control system work its magic? It's a classic, elegant example of a negative feedback loop. Our body possesses an internal thermostat nestled deep within the brain in a region called the hypothalamus. This is our control center, the master regulator. But before the control center can act, it needs information. This is where our receptors come into play. Scattered throughout your skin are millions of thermoreceptors, constantly monitoring the external temperature. But perhaps even more critically, there are also thermoreceptors within your hypothalamus itself, sensing the temperature of your very blood, your core. Let's imagine you've stepped out on a sweltering summer day. The external temperature soars, and your core body temperature begins to creep upwards, even if by a fraction of a degree. Your thermoreceptors detect this change, this deviation from the precious set point. They send urgent signals, electrical whisperers, to the hypothalamic control center. The hypothalamus, receiving these alerts, immediately springs into action, initiating a cascade of responses designed to reverse the change, to bring your temperature back down. What are these remarkable responses? These effectors in action? First, signals are sent to the tiny blood vessels in your skin. These vessels, under the command of the nervous system, dilate, widening their diameter. This brings more warm blood closer to the surface of your skin, allowing heat to radiate outwards into the cooler air. You might notice your skin looking a little flushed. That's vasodilation at work, a visible sign of your body's cooling efforts. But the body doesn't stop there. Simultaneously, the hypothalamus activates millions of sweat glands embedded in your skin, those tiny coiled tubes we explored when we spoke of the integumentary system. These glands begin to secrete sweat, a watery fluid rich in salts. As this sweat evaporates from your skin surface, it carries away a significant amount of heat, cooling you down dramatically. It's an incredibly efficient evaporative cooling system, silently working to preserve your internal equilibrium. Now, consider the opposite scenario. You've ventured out into a biting winter wind, and your core body temperature begins to dip below that sacred 98.6 degrees mark. Again, your thermoreceptors, both peripheral and central, register the change and relay the information to the vigilant hypothalamus. This time, the hypothalamus orchestrates a different set of countermeasures, all aimed at generating and conserving heat. First, those same blood vessels in your skin now constrict, narrowing their diameter. This reduces blood flow to the skin surface, minimizing heat loss to the cold external environment. Your skin might appear paler, even slightly bluish in extreme cold, a testament to your body's conservation efforts, prioritizing the warmth of your vital internal organs. But conserving heat isn't always enough. Sometimes the body needs to actively generate heat. And here, the muscular system, that powerhouse of movement, steps onto the stage. The hypothalamus sends signals to your skeletal muscles, triggering involuntary rhythmic contractions, what we know as shivering. Each tiny muscle twitch generates heat as a byproduct of metabolic activity, much like rubbing your hands together vigorously to warm them. It's a rapid, effective way to boost your internal temperature. Beyond shivering, there's also non-shivering thermogenesis, particularly in infants, where certain metabolic hormones, often influenced by the endocrine system, increase cellular metabolic rates to produce heat. Isn't it profound, this intricate dance? Your body, without a conscious thought from you, is constantly adjusting, fine-tuning its internal climate, ensuring the perfect conditions for life's silent processes to flourish. It's a testament to the wisdom embedded within our very cells, a biological masterpiece of self-regulation. Let us now turn our gaze to another vital homeostatic balance, one that directly fuels certainly every cell in your body, the meticulous regulation of your blood glucose levels. Glucose, as you recall, is the primary energy currency for our cells, a simple sugar derived from the carbohydrates in our diet. It is particularly critical for the brain, which relies almost exclusively on glucose for its energy needs. Too little glucose, hypoglycemia, can lead to confusion, dizziness, and even loss of consciousness. Too much glucose, hypoglycemia, over prolonged periods, can damage blood vessels and organs, leading to a host of health complications. Our body, therefore, maintains blood glucose within a remarkably tight range, typically between 70 and 110 milligrams per deciliter, mg/dl, when fasting. How does our body manage this delicate energy budget? The brilliant orchestrator here is the pancreas. Remarkable organ we encountered as part of the digestive and endocrine systems. Within the pancreas are specialized clusters of cells called the islets of Langerhans. These islets contain two key types of cells, alpha cells and beta cells, which act as both the receptors and the control centers for blood glucose regulation. Imagine you've just enjoyed a delicious meal. As your digestive system breaks down carbohydrates, glucose floods into your bloodstream. Your beta cells in the pancreatic islets detect this rise in blood glucose. Recognizing this deviation from the set point, they immediately release a crucial hormone, insulin. Insulin acts as the body's key, unlocking the doors of most cells, muscle, fat, liver, to allow glucose to enter and be used for energy or stored for later. Under insulin's influence, several vital actions occur. 1. Muscle and fat cells increase their uptake of glucose from the blood. 2. The liver, a powerful metabolic hub, takes up excess glucose and converts it into glycogen, a storage form of glucose, through a process called glycogenesis. 3. Cells also begin to convert excess glucose into fat for long-term energy storage. All these actions work in concert to remove glucose from the bloodstream, bringing blood glucose levels back down to that optimal range. It's a graceful, efficient negative feedback loop, preventing a damaging surge of sugar. Now, consider the flip side. Perhaps you've been fasting for several hours, or you've just completed an intense workout. Your cells are consuming glucose, and your blood glucose levels begin to drop below the set point. This time it's the alpha cells in the pancreatic islets that sense the change. They respond by releasing a different hormone, glucagon. Glucagon acts as insulin's antagonist, its counter-regulator. Its primary target is the liver. Glucagon signals the liver to break down its stored glycogen back into glucose, a process called glycogenolysis, and release it into the bloodstream. Furthermore, if glycogen stores are depleted, glucagon can stimulate the liver to synthesize new glucose from non-carbohydrate sources like amino acids and fats, a process called gluconeogenesis. These actions replenish the blood with glucose, raising levels back to the desired range, ensuring a steady supply of fuel for your brain and other vital organs. This intricate interplay between insulin and glucagon, mediated by the pancreas and the liver, is a masterpiece of metabolic control. It's a constant negotiation, a dynamic equilibrium that keeps our energy supply stable, ensuring our cells never starve and never drown in excess. It's a testament to the body's foresight, its ability to plan for both abundance and scarcity. These are just two prominent examples, my friends, of the myriad homeostatic mechanisms constantly at work within you. We could delve into the precise regulation of blood pressure, a symphony involving your heart, blood vessels, kidneys, and brain, or the meticulous balance of fluid and electrolytes crucial for nerve impulses and muscle contractions, or the exquisite control of pH, ensuring the perfect acidity for biochemical reactions. Each is a world unto itself, a testament to life's profound intelligence. What we are truly witnessing is the body's unwavering commitment to life itself. Homeostasis isn't just a biological concept, it's the very definition of resilience, adaptability, and self-preservation. It's the silent, ceaseless work that allows us to adapt to changing environments, to heal from injury, and to simply be. Every breath you take, every beat of your heart, every thought that flickers through your mind is underpinned by this magnificent, invisible ballet of balance. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to pause and reflect on the sheer wonder of it all. You're not merely a collection of organs, but a self-regulating universe, a living testament to emergent complexity. The harmony we seek in the external world is mirrored, with breathtaking precision, within your very being. In the quiet hum of your own physiology, there is a profound lesson in balance, in interconnectedness, and in the enduring miracle of life. And with this understanding, we take another step in appreciating the astonishing universe that resides within us all. Welcome back, my friends, to our quiet corner of curiosity. We have journeyed through the intricate dance of the body's systems, marveling at the tireless commitment to internal stability we call homeostasis. We've seen how the body, with its myriad sensors and sophisticated control centers, works ceaselessly to maintain its precious equilibrium, a masterpiece of self-regulation, ensuring that the internal environment remains a sanctuary amidst the ever-shifting external world. But what happens when the challenges are not fleeting whispers but persistent, resounding shouts? What if the environment demands more than just a return to a familiar baseline? The human body, in its boundless wisdom, is not merely a reactive entity, it is also a profoundly adaptive one, capable of reshaping itself, of adjusting its very set points, to not just survive, but to thrive in the face of sustained demands. Today we turn our gaze to this astonishing capacity for change, to the elegant art of adaptation, and the profound implications it holds for our well-being. Imagine, if you will, the body is a magnificent living symphony. Homeostasis is the conductor, ensuring every instrument plays in perfect harmony, maintaining the established melody. But adaptation? Adaptation is when the orchestra learns an entirely new piece, perhaps a more challenging one, expanding its repertoire and even changing the very character of its sound in response to a new artistic vision. We call this process of responding to sustained challenges stress. And while the word stress often carries negative connotations in our modern lexicon, physiologically it is a fundamental mechanism of survival and growth. When the body encounters a stressor, be it physical exertion, emotional pressure, environmental changes, or even the subtle demands of learning something new, it initiates a complex, orchestrated response designed to meet the perceived threat or demand. This is often described through a model known as the General Adaptation Syndrome, or JS, which unfolds in 3 distinct stages. The first stage is the alarm reaction. This is the immediate visceral fight or flight response we discussed when exploring the nervous system. Within moments, your sympathetic nervous system springs into action, a lightning bolt of communication from your brain to every corner of your being. Adrenaline, epinephrine, and noradrenaline, norepinephrine, surge from your adrenal glands, preparing you for immediate action. Your heart rate quickens, blood pressure rises, pupils dilate, and glucose is released into your bloodstream, providing instant fuel. This is the body's emergency broadcast system, ensuring all hands are on deck, ready to confront or flee the challenge. It's a rapid, powerful deviation from homeostatic norms, a necessary disruption to ensure immediate survival. But what if the saber-toothed tiger doesn't disappear? What if the challenge persists? This leads us to the second stage, the cell stage of resistance. Here, the body cannot sustain the full-blown alarm reaction indefinitely. It would be too metabolically costly and ultimately damaging. Instead, the body enters a phase of sustained yet more subdued coping. The hypothalamus, that masterful orchestrator in your brain, signals the pituitary gland, which in turn prompts the adrenal cortex to release cortisol. Cortisol, often called the stress hormone, isn't inherently bad. It's a powerful anti-inflammatory and helps maintain blood glucose levels, ensuring a steady supply of energy for prolonged periods. During this stage, your body attempts to normalize its functions while still dealing with the stressor. It's like moving from a full sprint to a sustained, powerful run. Your systems are still elevated, but they are working to adapt to the ongoing demand, finding a new, albeit higher, set point for certain physiological parameters. Your cardiovascular system might become more efficient, your muscles might grow stronger, your immune system might initially be enhanced. This is where true physiological adaptation takes root. Consider an athlete training for a marathon. Each long run, each intense workout is a stressor. The initial alarm reaction might be fatigue and muscle soreness, but with consistent training the body adapts. Cardiovascular capacity improves, muscles become more resilient, energy pathways become more efficient. The body has effectively shifted its homeostatic set points to meet a higher level of demand. It's not just returning to baseline, it's redefining its baseline. However, the body's resources are not infinite. If the stressor continues unabated, if the demands outweigh the body's capacity to adapt, we enter the third and most perilous stage, the stage of exhaustion. In this phase, the body's compensatory mechanisms begin to fail. The chronic release of cortisol, while beneficial in the short term, starts to have detrimental effects. The immune system becomes suppressed, making you more susceptible to illness. Energy reserves dwindle. Organs and systems constantly running at an elevated capacity begin to wear down. Homeostatic balance, once a steadfast guardian, falters. This prolonged state of physiological imbalance can lead to a host of health problems, from chronic fatigue and metabolic disorders to cardiovascular disease and mental health challenges. It is here that the line between beneficial adaptation and detrimental breakdown becomes tragically clear. This dynamic interplay between challenge and response leads us to a more nuanced concept than simple homeostasis. Allostasis. While homeostasis describes the maintenance of stability around a fixed set point, allostasis refers to stability through change. It's the brain's remarkable ability to anticipate needs and actively adjust physiological parameters to meet predicted demands. It's not just reacting to a deviation, it's proactively setting new operating ranges. For example, if you anticipate a stressful presentation, your brain might subtly elevate your heart rate and blood pressure before you even step onto the stage, preparing your body for action. Allostasis highlights the central role of the brain, not just as a control center, but as a predictive, adaptive orchestrator of our entire being. This brings us to a profound truth that resonates through every fiber of our being: the mind-body connection. The brain, that shimmering nexus of consciousness and thought, is not merely a passive recipient of physiological signals. It actively interprets, shapes, and often initiates our physiological responses. Your perception of a stressor, whether you view it as a threat or a challenge, whether you feel you have the resources to cope, profoundly influences the physiological cascade that follows. A perceived threat can trigger a powerful stress response, even if the physical danger is minimal. Conversely, a calm, resilient mindset can mitigate the physiological impact of a demanding situation. This is why practices like mindfulness, meditation, and strong social connections are not just nice-to-haves for mental well-being, they are powerful physiological regulators, influencing everything from hormone levels to immune function. Our journey inward has revealed a body that is not a static machine, but a living, breathing testament to dynamic resilience. It is constantly engaged in a dialogue with its environment, perpetually adapting, learning, and reshaping itself. Each scar tells a story of healing. Each muscle gained reflects a challenge overcome. Each moment of calm in a chaotic world speaks to the brain's capacity for peace. Yet we also see the delicate balance. The very mechanisms that allow us to adapt and grow can, if overtaxed, lead to breakdown and disease. Understanding this delicate equilibrium, this profound capacity for self-sculpting, is not just scientific knowledge, it is a deeper appreciation for the miracle of our own existence. We are not just collections of cells and systems, we are living, breathing narratives of adaptation, constantly writing and rewriting our story in response to the world around us. As we conclude this chapter, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences with adaptation. How have you or your body responded to challenges? Where have you felt the subtle shifts of allostasis, the quiet strength of resistance, or perhaps the weariness of exhaustion? In recognizing these patterns, we gain not just knowledge, but a profound empathy for the incredible journey each of us undertakes every single day. The human body, my friends, is a living home of resilience, and its verses are still being written.